Hare Krishna, nice to see everybody. Let's see here. Govinda Vallabha is asking for a link. Hare Krishna. We just finished our kathā for the Govardhan retreat, and this year we spoke about what is Giriraja's rasa with Krishna. Where did I see Govinda Vallabha? Oh, I know, maybe it's, I'm sorry, everybody. Things open. Okay, Gauranga Nityananda. So nice to see everybody here tonight. I'm Sri Krishna Kaur and Natalia, and Natalia, the Purushottam Brenda Sundari. Hare Krishna. So we'll go ahead and start, and I'm going to have to finish a little early tonight, so it's going to be a little quick because I've got another program to do after this. Busy day today. So we're on the 15th verse of this Mangala Charna prayers of our Guru Maharaj. These are two verses from Prema-bhakti-chandrikā. We spoke a little something about them last week, and I'll continue from our discussion of last week tonight. Gora Graganya Gana Gotya Goloruharam Goranga Gudatama Gopyata Kopa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavadam Satatam Namami. Is the volume better now? Lila Purushottam? Hare Krishna?
Not really. It's just I checked my speakers and it's 100%. So it must be something on your side.
Well, what can I do? Let's try this. We had a whole nother setup for Govardhan retreat. It's really complicated, and now it's a different thing. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Is that better now? Can you hear me better?
It's not stronger volume.
How about now? Is that better? Hare Krishna? No.
I don't think so.
Well, I must say I can hear you pretty good. I don't know.
Acha, you hear well, Tirthakar Prabhu. Dr.
Yeah, very clear.
Can you all hear okay? Okay, so then it's just Lila Purushottam Prabhu's fault. You're getting old, Prabhu. Or your computer's getting
My
old. Gora Graganya Gana Gochu Goloruharam Goranga Gudatama Gopyata Kopa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavadam Satatam Namami Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Janadiriyat Panchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'm going to be running a little bit tonight. So I want to try to have some reflections from everybody, so please forgive me. I want to try to finish this particular verse that we started. So we've come now to the 15th verse of our Guru Maharaj's Mangala Charna prayers. This appears in Prema-bhakti-chandrikā, section 10 of Prema-bhakti-chandrikā of Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura, and a section called Sri Gora Upasana Katavyata, which speaks about the necessity of worshipping Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And this verse comes right after the previous verse, Anarpitam Chiram Chirat Karuna Avatirnat Kalo Samapaitam Manujala Rasam Svabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Dhyuti Kadamba Sandipitaha Sada Hridaya Kandares Purativa Sachinandanaha, which we spoke about, I don't know, so many different sessions about that verse. So that verse spoke about the special gift that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come to give. So now Guru Maharaj is going on with something which is connected with that from Prema-bhakti-chandrikā. What is a necessity of worshipping Gauranga Mahaprabhu? And I want to look back a little bit to refresh what we were saying before about Prema-bhakti-chandrikā, and I can mention to some of the devotees who just joined that we're considering to, after we finish the Mangala Charana prayers, if that ever happens, we're thinking to go on and go through the entire Prema-bhakti-chandrikā of Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura's commentary. The Prema-bhakti-chandrikā sometimes is known as Rupa Nuga Gita because it contains the essence of all the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema-bhakti-chandrikā literally means the rays of the moonlight of loving prema to Krishna. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he commented once that everyone should read this book every day. This was the favorite book of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. He carried it with him everywhere he went. Yes, he could read. He liked this book and he liked Prarthana very much. He didn't read Sanskrit, but he read Bengali. And so sometimes he's considered to be illiterate because he couldn't read Sanskrit. So I'm going to go ahead and paste the Bengali verse on here today. This is Prema-bhakti-chandrikā, section 10, text number 12. Let's see here. Put this in the chat. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devarati-mati bhave bhaja prema-kalpa-taru-bara-dātā Vraja Raja Nandana Radhika Jivana Dana aparūpa saba kathā. And the translation, also paste that in. Jai Gaur, you want to read this, please? Nice to see you tonight.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Speak in the mic, please.
All right. Oh, brother, always worship Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev as the great philanthropist giving love for Krishna. This is actually the Vraja and the life of Srimati Radharani. Descriptions of him are spiritual sounds material.
Okay. I'm getting messages that my connection's not very good, so we'll see what happens here. We just finished giving our class for the Govardhan retreat, and somehow that managed. Hopefully this will continue. So, looking a little bit back on what we previously discussed, Krishna Janaya Jay Jagata Koila Dhanya Ataiva Nama Hoilo Sri Krishna Chaitanya. It said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has that name Sri Krishna Chaitanya because he's blessed the whole universe. Jay Jagati Koila Dhanya, he's given this wealth to the universe because he's given Krishna consciousness, and therefore he's named Sri Krishna Chaitanya. That personality who's a Chaitanya, who's conscious of Krishna. You going to record this, Kim? So, Hare Krishna. In our last session, we read some things from Srila Narottama Thakur's Krishna Bhakti Rasa Kadamba and spoke something about about the phrase Krishna consciousness and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving that Chaitanya. And we spoke something from Srila Rupa Goswami's Pajavali, very famous verse, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavite-mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labdite speaking about how even you may have Jamma Koti Sukirtana Labhyate, you may have so much sukriti from tens of millions of births, but you can't get Krishna Bhakti Ras. Only Tatra Lolyam Api Mulyam Ekalam, only if you have greed for that. And how that phrase, this verse, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita-matihi, is the verse Srila Prabhupada said that he based the phrase Krishna consciousness on. So this is our Krishna conscious movement, as we were commenting. Krishna conscious means then innately, if it is based on this verse, it means that it's something which is not based on sukriti, because Jamma Koti Sukirtana Labhyate. Rather, it's something which is based on greed. And if you find that it's going on somewhere, kriyatam yadi, yadi means if, kutopi labhyate, if you can get it somewhere, in kriyatam, you should go and buy it. Don't hesitate. And that's the Krishna conscious movement. Srila Prabhupada wanted devotees to be Krishna conscious. What a concept. He wanted us to be Krishna conscious and not just be Sukriti Walas who are distributing Sukriti, but actually have Krishna Bhakti Ras so that people could come to get that here. And this is this verse today, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev, Mati bhave, bhaja, prema-kalpa-taru-bara-dātā. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to give. And we discussed this from a number of different verses in different places. I'd like to turn now to Kavi Karnapur's Chaitanya Chandradoya Natakam, text 282. Advaita Charya is speaking to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nijechaya prapaya yadyad eva salantaram nova per antaram ba tavaitad ascharja charitam eva jati smara eva chiram smaramaha. Go ahead and paste the Sanskrit in. And Leela Purushottam Prabhu, would you like to read the translation? It's not there yet. It should be now.
Advaita, so be it. By your desire, may you give us all different eternal forms and different eternal residences. We will eternally remember your wonderful transcendental pastimes.
Or another meaning can be that Jati Smara Eva Chiram Smaramaha, that Jati Smara, that may we remember our past life. So in other words, may we remember our origin in your wonderful pastimes. So what does this mean? This Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's coming to give this Krishna consciousness. Vraja Raja Nandana Radhika Jivana Dana Aparūpa Esha Bhakata. This is the life of the devotees. This is the life of Srimati Radharani. To hear about Sri Krishna, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. And so Advaita Acharya is saying that by your desire, may you give us all these eternal forms, may we get these things. And our particular service, a particular place within Leela. But at the same time, we always want to remember our origin in those pastimes. Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura is described in Prarthana, a similar point. Manovansha Siddhi Tabe Hel Purna Krishna Hitai Chaitanya Mile Seta Radha Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Manovansha Siddhi Hare. When all of our desires are fulfilled, what does that mean, all of our desires? Well, some Brahmacharis.
Now it went quiet after this Kirtan Prabhu.
What's that? Kirtan?
No, I mean after your sing, it went quiet. The voice.
The sound's extremely soft, like
Okay.
you're very from the mic.
Is this better now? Hare Krishna? Better now? No? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. It's really a big drama trying to go on with this sometimes. So Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura is singing that Manavansha Siddhi, when we receive Siddhi in our desires, which also indicates that our bhajan is based on desire. Our bhajan is not just what we do mechanically, but our bhajan is what lies deep within our heart. We have to cultivate that desire. And when that desire is fulfilled, that deep desire, when we get that deep desire, that spiritual desire to understand, who am I in Krishna Lila? What is my relationship with Krishna? What is my service to Krishna? What is the nature of my Guru Dev? Mano vancha siddhi tabi how pone Krishna. Then when we're so eager for that, when we purna Krishna means to drink. So when we drank that, then at that time, we'll meet Hetai Chaitanya Mile. We'll meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And wherever we meet him, Hetai, here in this material world. We'll meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Seta Radha Krishna. And at the same time, we'll meet Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. This is Gaura Lila. It's such a very, very wonderful thing. And as we've often commented, we give a whole seminar on this, which I'd rather not repeat for this today, but Gaura Lila is still going on today. And how that is, and how Srila Prabhupada says that devotees who are fully surrendered, they've already entered into to Gaura Lila. They're already Nitya Siddha. That's the amazing quality of Gaura Lila, that it's still going on even today in this place. So when these desires for our sadhana are fulfilled, Manovancha Siddhi, Tabihao Purna Krishna, when they're satisfied, at that time, Hetai, here in this place, Chaitanya Mili, we're going to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Seta Radha Krishna. That means we're also going to meet Radha and Krishna at the same time. Therefore, Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura, he also prays to Lokanath Goswami, his Guru Maharaj in Prarthana. He sings, Manovancha Siddhi Dabe Hana Purna Krishna Hetai Chaitanya Mile Sari Radha Krishna Tumina Korile Doi Jai Koribe Ar Manera Basana Purna Koro Ebar. This is a prayer he's offering to Lokanath Goswami, Manovancha Siddhi Tabi Hao Purna Krishna, that when our desires are fulfilled in service to Guru Dev, then at that time we'll meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we'll meet with Radha Krishna. And he says that at that time, Tumi na korile doya, if you're not kind to me, Jai kori biyar, manera basana pona koro debar. He says that you please be merciful to me, because if you're not merciful to me, then I won't be able to get this mercy. So I'm praying to you for this thing. This is our line. He's not just praying that oh, I'm going to do this Gaura Bhajan, I'm going to chant Nityananda Nam or Gaura Nam or whatever, and by chanting that, then Hetai Chaitanya Mili, I'm going to meet Gauranga Mahaprabhu because I'm such an important person. He's not saying that. This is a prayer to his Guru. Tumi na korile doya, if you're not kind to me, ke karibiyar, how can I get this thing? It's only possible. So we can't separate Gauranga Mahaprabhu from the devotees. We can't separate Gauranga Mahaprabhu from Gurudev. And therefore Kaviraj Goswami describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nija Shakti, Nija Chincha Shakti Malay, Panaskanda Hoy, Shakala Shakara Shay, Skanda Mula Shroy, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is amazing. This is
Madhavananda Prabhu again. Same thing. I think you have microphone set up on automatically, so when it's more loud something, it goes automatically on less acceptance, or whatever you call it.
I'm looking at all the controls, and I don't see anything else that I can do. I really don't.
No, it's okay.
I'm really sorry. I'm trying. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think what Vrinda Sundari wrote in chat, that's the thing.
The Zoom has some automatic settings. Thank you, Cindy. I don't know where to do this at. I'm going to try here. Preferences.
I believe there is option to put it on permanent or avoid automatic. You put manual, maybe there's option there. Then this can avoid this changing.
Okay. I'm looking. Use separate audio devices, input level. Okay, automatically adjust microphone volume. So I'm going to turn that off. Okay. All right, let's see. Maybe that was a problem. Thank you very much, Cindy. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm on a MacBook. iPad, I really don't like doing Zoom stuff on iPad. Anyway, it's a hindrance. Yes, we had a couple of the devotees join us. Mujila Vesabas here too. Hare Krishna. Vrajabani, nice to see you. Hare Krishna. So we're speaking about this Chaitanya, this Krishna Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu, how he's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deva. He's the Deva, he's the manifestation of the Lord who's giving this consciousness, the Krishna consciousness. And how Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura, Prakana, he's saying at Manobhancha Siddhi that when I receive perfection in my desire, and we're commenting how, very important point, how we have to have some desire. And that's Prabhupada used to say that first deserve and desire. So we have to cultivate that. We have to cultivate that desire by service to Gurudev. And when that desire becomes perfected, then Hetai Chaitanya Mila will be able to directly see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, Seta Radha Krishna, we'll be able to see Radha Krishna. And then he prays, Tumi na korile doya ti koribe. That my Gurudev, this is your mercy. This is a mercy of Gurudev. It's not that I'm going to do this without Guru Maharaj. And Chaitanya Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami then, quoting this last verse we just sang from Adi Leela Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Nija Chincha Shakti, that Mahaprabhu's
Madhavananda Prabhu, we are really sorry. Please excuse us, but now we don't hear you almost at all. I don't know if others can confirm, but it's like it's worse than it was today.
Hare Krishna, is this better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little better. Yeah.
All right. I'm just playing around with this. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, we'll try that. I'm really sorry. I'm not real technical. I'm doing the best I can with it. It's a little hard. Is it better now?
A little better.
A little better.
Not.
Well, let me look here in the system preferences again. I don't know what to say. Let's try this one.
Anyway, it's a big difference between sound of Purushotama and you. It's a big difference.
Anyone else? Now when you speak Vrajavanita, it's also it's the point is from the beginning, very beginning, it's not your regular volume. What your lectures used to be.
Better now? I just changed something again. Is it better now? Hare Krishna, Gauranga Nityananda.
It's audible, but it's not the volume that you're used to be on.
The only other thing I can think to do is to reboot my computer, stop everything and reboot it.
Prabhu, maybe changing it back to, to automatically do its thing, because the thing is when you play the harmonium, it goes quieter, but then, after maybe 60 seconds, it goes back to normal volume. Okay. So I think it was
is it better now?
Before.
I just ticked that again. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Now it's getting better. Now it's getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I took that thing off so it didn't, anyway. All right, Hare Krishna. Let's see, we don't have much more time either. So Nija Chinta Shakti, this is Mahaprabhu's inconceivable potency, that he's simultaneously one and many. He's Mali, Hana, Skanda Hoy, Shakala Shakara She, Skanda Mula Shroy. He's simultaneously, he's a Mali, he's a gardener, and he's a Skanda, he's the trunk of the tree. Shakala Sakar, he's also the branches of the tree. He's a Mula Ashray, he's the original support of that. In other words, the point we're trying to make with this verse is that we can't separate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his devotees. As Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura says in another place, if we try to worship Mahaprabhu without the devotees, then we're just living in an illusion. We can't approach him without the devotees. We can't approach him except through Gurudev. So when we speak about this quality in being this Chaitanya, this consciousness, this is manifest to us through the devotees. This is what Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura is telling us in Prarthana. Manabancha Siddhi Tabi Hana Prunat Krishna. Hetai, Chaitanya Mili. Here we'll meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and say to Radha Krishna. Then we'll meet with Radha Krishna. Mahaprabhu giving this prema in connection with that. Kaviraj Goswami says, let's see, maybe I'll try to play this softly so it doesn't change the volume. Let me know afterwards if it changes the volume again. We'll try to do something else. Udambara briksha jaina phale saiva ange e mata brik bhakti brikshe saivata phala lage Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Udambara briksha, just like a fig tree, very big fig tree. It has, if you've seen a fig tree, it's very beautiful. The figs appear all over its body. So in the same way, all the different in this bhakti briksha, in this tree of bhakti that Mahaprabhu gave sarvatra phalalagi, the fruits appear all over. In other words, they appear with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They also appear with the followers of Mahaprabhu, his associates. And they also appear with their devotees. And they also appear amongst the devotees who are yet following them. That's us. And Kaviraj Goswami goes on to say, Mula Skander Saka Ar Upashaka Gane Lagi Laje Prema Phala Amritake Jane Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because the Mula Skanda, or the source of that tree, the main source of that tree, of the branches of that tree, the sakas and the upasakas, the sub-branches of that tree, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Then the taste of this fruit, which appears there, is complete nectar. It's the greatest nectar. Jai Prema Phala Amritake Jini. Because Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he's tasting the mood of Radha. I'm going to check the volume thing here again. We're doing okay? Hare Krishna.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Bhajabanti. So then Kaviraj Goswami says that Pakila Jai Prema Phala. These fruits are paka. They're fully ripened fruits. Because when you go to buy a fruit, if the fruit is green, you don't want to drink it. You don't want to take it. It's going to give you a stomachache. Pakila Jai Prema Phala Amrita Madhur. These fruits are these fruits of love of God. They're fully ripened. My Guru Maharaj used to sometimes say that Krishna is like a green mango. It's not fully ripe. But in Gaura Lila, it's fully ripe. The mellow is complete because now he's tasting the mood of Srimati Radharani. It was Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. She's a golden cow, therefore Tapta Kanchana Gauranga. Mahaprabhu is also golden. So this is Pakila. This is a fully ripened fruit. Pakila Jai Prema Phala Amrita Madhur. And it's the the tastiest nectar that there is. Vilaya Chaitanya Mali, Nahi Loy Mula. And Mahaprabhu is giving them away, Nahi Loy Mula. He's not charging anything. It's amazing. It's such an amazing thing what Mahaprabhu is doing. It's such a valuable thing. Kaviraj Goswami says, try to understand. Tri Jagate Jata Ache Dhana Ratnamani. And all the three worlds, you take all the valuable jewels, all the money, all the riches and jewels in all the three worlds. Eka Faler Muya, Taha Nahigani. It doesn't equal even one of these fruits of Prem Bhakti. Mage vana mage keha pacha va apacha ihar vicha nahi jane deha matra. And then the amazing thing is how Mahaprabhu is distributing this. He's not considering mage vana mage, who's begging for it or somebody's not begging for it. Mage vana mage keha pacha va apacha. Who's a pacha, who's a qualified person, who's a pacha, who's not qualified for it. Ihar bicha nahi jani deha matra. But Mahaprabhu is giving it to everyone freely. And again, how is he doing it? It's not just that I'm standing in line and saying, where is my fruit? Where is my prema? Why don't I get it? But I have to go to the right place. And the right place is we go to Gurudev. We go to service to Gurudev. And if we don't do that, then Nityananda Prabhu won't even look at us. And if Nityananda Prabhu won't look at you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also won't look at you. So Mahaprabhu is saying, Ekala Malaka, I'm the only gardener. Kahan Jaba, how many places can I go? Ekala Vakatafala, Padiyavilab, how many fruits can I pick? How many fruits can I distribute? Ekala Utana Dite Hoya Parikrama. Keha Pai, Keha Na Pai, Rahi Mani Brahma. He said that wow. Something got changed here. Ekala Utana Dite Hoya Parishram. That for me to try to go alone and distribute all this fruit, this is parishram. This is a very difficult thing for me. And then if I do that, then keha pai, keha na pai. Some people are going to get it and some people won't get it. This is not good. I want to give it to everyone. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also showing us the example of tasting it. He's giving it and he's showing us the example of tasting it. So we pray to him. So please give this to us in the form of service to Gurudev, in the form of Nam Bhajan. And we meditate on him. We worship him. We can worship him as Krishna. We just gave some elaborate discussion about worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Giriraj Govardhan as Krishna. That's okay. No controversy, no argument. Fine, you want to do that, go ahead and do that. But there's a reason why our acharyas recommend that you worship him as a devotee. There's a reason why we want to meditate on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a devotee in the mood of Radharani. Because he's tasting that thing also. That's Adbhuta Niguda. And Kaviraj Goswami says in Untitled Chaitanya Chaitamrita that this prema, Adbhuta Niguda prema Madhuja Mahima, it's Adbhuta Niguda. It's Adbhuta, it's astonishing, it's amazing, it's Niguda, it's very, very deep. This prema madhurya mahima, this love that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving, and he's tasting it. Apani asvadi Prabhu Dekala Simha. He's showing us, Dekala here is an important word. He's showing us what to do. We want to be Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We want to follow in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura is telling us, hey, wake up. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev, Rakti Mati Bhava Bhaja. Understand the bhav, the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Contemplate on it. Read Prema-bhakti-chandrikā. Read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Understand what we're doing. Wake up. Become conscious. Follow Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the greatest consciousness is Chaitanya. Don't be a Chaitanya or dull and just do something, some external thing. Kaviraj Goswami goes on to explain Adbhuta Dayala Chaitanya, that this Chaitanya, that this consciousness that he's given, this personality whose name is Chaitanya, is his mercy is Adbhuta Dayala. It's Adbhuta, it's astonishing. It's Adbhuta Vadanya. It's so magnanimous. He's wonderfully merciful. He's wonderfully magnanimous. Achi Doyala. This mercy, Data Loki Nahi Shunya Ar. We've never heard of anyone else, any other avatar, any other devotee, any other person in all the history of the three worlds, throughout all the Vedic literatures, who is so merciful and so charitable as giving such a thing. So Kaviraj Goswami says, get with it, you guys. He says, Sarva Bhave Bhaja Lok Chaitanya Charana. He says, hey, listen, my Loka, he's saying, he's speaking to the whole world, everybody. Sarva Bhave Bhaja. That all of you, all your bhav, Sarva Bhave Bhaja, with all your heart, everything that you have, Sarva Bhave Bhaja Loka Chaitanya Charana, worship the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Jaha hoiti paibi, Krishna Prema-bhakti-chandrikā. And if you do that, then you're going to get this Krishna Prema-bhakti-chandrikā, this treasure of ecstatic love for Krishna. So then Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura is saying, Vraja Raja Nandana Radhikara Pranadana Aparūpa Esha Bhakota. That Brajendra Nandan Krishna, that personality who's the son of Nanda Maharaj, and who is Radhika Pranadana, the life, the Lord of Radharani's life, he's descended as Gauranga Mahaprabhu and accepted the feelings of a devotee to personally relish the sweetness of the love of Braj and also to give it to everyone. This is a very, very astonishing thing. Again in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila chapter 17. Tihan Sham Vangsi Mukha Gopi Vilasi Ihan Gora Kabu Dvija Kabu Ta Sannyasi. He says that Tihan, Sham, Tihan, previously in Krishna Lila, he was Sham, he was blackish colored. In Vangsi Mukha, he had a flute to his mouth. Gopi Vilasi, he was enjoying, Gopi Vilasi, he was enjoying, as a cowherd boy. But Ihan now, Ihan Gora, now he's come in a golden complexion. Kabudvija. And now this very rare thing, he's come as a Brahman. Kabuta sannyasi. Sometimes he's a Brahman, sometimes he's a sannyasi. He's acting in this way. And this is the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's such a very, very important thing to understand. My Guru Maharaj gave this Mangala Charana because he wanted devotees to understand the proper mood of Mahaprabhu and what he's come to give, what we should meditate on in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how we should worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as we've said many times before, we were just saying in our class a little earlier about the Govardhan retreat, this bhajan in our Gaudiya line is not like any other bhajan that we've ever seen or heard anywhere else, because this bhajan is not for us. Everyone else is doing bhajan because I want to get something. I want to get a husband, I want to get a wife, I want to become expert in playing harmonium. I want somebody's going to give me prasadam after the program. I want to purify my heart. I want to go back to Godhead. I want to get Krishna praying even. But the devotees are not even praying for that. They just want to serve. And the bhajan they're doing is for the pleasure of Gauranga Mahaprabhu through the medium of Gurudev. Tate Krishna Bhaji Kore Guru Sevan. My Guru Seva is my Krishna bhajan. So what is that mood? Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi chapter 17, Kaviraj Goswami describes this. Ataeva apane Prabhu Gopi Bhava Dhari. That Mahaprabhu, therefore he's come for this reason, Ataeva. Apane, personally he's come. Prabhu Gopi Bhava Dhari. He's adopting, he's accepting the mood of the gopis. He's not come to be Krishna, Brajendra Nandana Kahi Prananata Kori. Rather, he's coming and he's praying to Krishna. He is Krishna, but he's praying to Krishna. Brajendra Nandana Kahi Prananata Kori. Hey, he's addressing the son of Nanda Maharaj. You're the master of my life. You're my prananath. You're my everything. Say Krishna, say Gopi Parama Viroda, Achincha Charitra, Prabhu Ati Sudirbhoda. So he's Krishna. Say Krishna, say Gopi. But he's a Gopi. He's Krishna, but he's a Gopi. He's Radha. He's adopted the mood of the gopis. Parama Viroda. This is very confusing. It's not just a little confusing, but it's Parama. Viroda means confusing, something which is contradictory. But this is not just Viroda. This is Parama Viroda. How do we understand? This is a Achintya Charita Prabhu, the inconceivable character of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is Ati Sudirbhoda. Very, very difficult to understand. So this, my Guru Maharaj spoke so much about this. This is such an important topic. And I think this is why he's quoting these verses from Prema-bhakti-chandrikā, where Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura is pleading with us. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev-Rati-mati bhava. You understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Kaviraj Goswami again, he says, Iti tarka kori keha na kora sansai. You can't understand Tarka Kori by being a big expert debater. I was a big debater. In high school, I was a captain in my debate team. Sometimes I knew people in different schools, and we would go and if they see me, they became frightened. I never lost a debate. I was frightening, But I became so sick of that, so very, very sick of that debate thing, because Tarka Apratishta, it's not conclusive. And you can defeat someone through argument, but that doesn't solve anything. So Kaviraj Goswami is saying, don't try to go on that path. Ite tarka kori kehana kora sangsat. You should understand. Don't have any doubt about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You're not going to understand by argument. Krishna Chinta Shakti Matohi. It's inconceivable to understand Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Don't think, please don't think that to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a simple thing. I've read Higher Taste book 3 times, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he came to give vegetarian restaurants. And that was why he came to give. And he's the most merciful Lord, and we chant his name before, and that's why we worship him, because it's all about me. This is something which is so very, very inconceivable. And this is something my Guru Maharaj wanted to give. And this is why he's taking these verses from Prema-bhakti-chandrikā right after he's speaking in Narpita Chiryam Charat. What he came to give. Now, how do we get it? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev, understand who he is. Meditate on him. Achincha Adbhuta Krishna Chaitanya Bihar. He says that these pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're achintya. You can't understand them. They're adbhuta. They're amazing. This Bihar, these pastimes of Krishna Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, but in the mood of Radharani, meditating on himself. Chitra Bhava, Chitra Guna, Chitra Vyavahar. This ecstasy of Mahaprabhu, it's amazing. His qualities are amazing. His Vyavahar, his behavior is amazing, is wonderful. This is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And this is something which is being given, spoken about in this verse today. From this Mangala Charna, I want to stop there. I'm sorry, I know I warned you that we were going to be running a bit this time, because I wanted to try to finish everything quickly. And I really, really need to finish our discussion also in 10 or 20 minutes. So we have another talk coming up with some other devotees. But it's really, really nice to see everybody. And I want to thank all of you so much. I'm sorry the volume wasn't very good today, but it's just so wonderful to be able to be with devotees and be able to speak about such topics and not get kicked out of the temple or not get banned or something. Hare Krishna. So, Brajabanita, do you have any reflections you want to share? It's good to see you.
Good to see everybody. I'm just enjoying so much. I have few thoughts. I was thinking that actually you said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to, in incarnation of Krishna from one side, from another side, he came to show us how to relish actually, how to serve and how to relish this taste. He brought this taste, and he also teach us how to relish it. So I just was thinking, actually he came to give to us his Mahaprasadam. Yes. Because he tasted by himself and he gave it to us with his taste in it. So that's what I was thinking.
Many devotees, we live in Jagannath Puri, and I never cease to be astonished. Yesterday we had about 15 devotees come from the ISKCON Youth Forum to our ashram. We got to indoctrinate them a little bit in our program. And it never ceases to astonish me how people see Jagannath Puri, many of them in a smarta kind of way. And even sometimes devotees see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that, because the root of that smarta vichara, that conception of the smartas means that people who are very orthodox and are following all the rules and regulations, the root of that is a kind of selfishness, where we're thinking I'm the most important person, it's all for me. And they can't even understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what an amazing thing, Mahaprabhu has come to Puri to do bhajan for two reasons. One, to relish it himself, and the second, to show us how to do bhajan, how to worship Lord Jagannath. It's not enough just to worship Jagannath by himself. Some people do that, and then they say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's also, even they may say he's an avatar or something, he's even they say he's avatari, but they don't go further down the path than that. They don't understand that we have to take up that system of bhajan that Mahaprabhu gave. Such an important thing. Nice to see you, Vraja. You look good today. Your hair's getting long now.
It seems that I'm gonna cut it soon. It's too long for me.
Hare Krishna. Good to see you. Tirthakar Prabhu, do you want to add any reflections or anything?
Yeah, just one short thing. You mentioned that few times, I really like the point that we should not be like nice credit hunters or something like that, you know. It was really nice.
But we're not against them.
Because some should not be in that group. And another thing, but we should strive to actually get the ecstasy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or the prema. And the way how to get it is actually by approaching our spiritual master. So I really like these 2 points. You know, thank you very much.
Srila Prabhupada gave everything, and everything is just fine. But sometimes Prabhupada didn't spell it all out. Because if he would have, we would have freaked out. We wouldn't have been able to digest it. That's what I think. Thank you, Tirthakar Prabhu. I'm gonna have to try to be quick a little tonight. And let's see, Brenda Sundari, I think you have to leave pretty soon, maybe. Do you have any reflections you want to share with us? And you're addressing the deities, I think, maybe, so I don't know if she'll be able to or not. She mentioned it. That's what happens when you become the temple president. You have to do all the services and no one else is there to do it. And what kind of reward do you get? Everybody complains about you. And they criticize that you're not doing things properly. So yeah, she just said she's addressing the deities right now. So Ujjwala Rasagya, are you there and alive and well? Would you like to add anything? She's also busy with something. Ujjwala Rasagya comments, beautiful, cannot separate the devotees from Gauranga. You can get Gauranga through service to Gurudev. It's just such a, we repeat this over and over again, but we have to hear it over and over again, because this is a root of our impersonalism, that we want to be with God, we want to be with Krishna, or we want to be Krishna himself, but we don't want the devotees there. And we want to find fault with the devotees, and we can't be forgiving the devotees. We want everybody to be perfect, except for myself, of course. Natalia, do you want to add anything? You've been busy today. Were you translating for the Govardhan retreat?
Yes, but we were three slots of translators. So I translated only your lecture today.
You translated my lecture. Oh, then I have to offer my
Yes.
apologies to you. I'm sorry. I was trying to go
Oh,
very slow.
thanks to all your classes, which I listen like every week. I could do it because like you were repeating many things. That's fine.
Yeah, it was a lot of things repeated today.
Okay, I like that when we meet Lord Chaitanya through our Gurudev, we also at the same time, in the same moment, we meet Radha and Krishna. I like this moment, and also that we have to cultivate this desire it only by service to Gurudev. It is very interesting point. We cannot really read about it and get it just okay. This is the most sublime, and let's okay. I have to have it, but it comes. The real desire really comes to the heart by service. This is just totally another.
Yeah, it's an
another
amazing
viewpoint.
thing. And as we were just commenting to Tirthakar Prabhu, Prabhupada, he gave us everything, but we don't often see it. We just think, oh, it's just like, we just see the institution part. Yeah, we're supposed to go out and collect money. We're supposed to go out and sell these books. And some people are benefiting because we have this mundane vision, but we don't see that we're doing it for Prabhupada's pleasure. And then that gives us entry into Gaura Leela. So Anapayani Radha just joined, and just to be a little nice to her, although I don't know if she deserves being nice to, but I'm going to just reflect on one little thing here. So if Anapayani only hears one thing, we've been reading from Guru Maharaj's Mangala Charana, and now we're on Prema-bhakti-chandrikā, the 15th verse of the Mangala Charana. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devarati-mati bhave, bhaja prema-kalpa-taru-bara-dātā. And what does this mean? And how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we heard Anarpita Chirim Chirat Karuna Avatinat Kolo, that he came, it was an amazing thing. He hadn't come in a long time. He came to give something so astonishing. But then how do we get that? So we have to worship him. We have to understand, we see him as being conscious of Krishna, as a devotee. We worship him as a devotee. We meditate on him as a devotee. And we follow the bhajan, the process of bhajan that he's given. And there's this beautiful verse which Natalia is just commenting on from Prarthana of Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura, where he says, Manovancha siddhi tabe, how Krishna. That when we achieve siddhi or perfection in our manovancha, and that's such an important point. We elaborated quite a bit on this. I'm just going to repeat what I said, how we need to have some desire. We need to develop some spiritual desire. When we achieve perfection in that spiritual desire, then how Krishna, we become completely satisfied. No anxieties, no problem. And at that time, Hetai, Chaitanya Mile, we meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, Hetai, in this world. And at the same time, then, Seta Radha Krishna. We meet with Radha and Krishna. And Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura, then in the next line, he says, Tumi na korile doya ki kore bihar. He prays to his Gurudev. This is a prayer to Lokanath Goswami. It's not a prayer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Radha Krishna. It's a prayer to Gurudev. And he said, oh Gurudev, that if you neglect me, if you don't give me this mercy, then I'm not going to be able to get this thing. So we spoke elaborately about how we can't separate the devotees from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to give. So that was a little short thing for Anapayani's benefit. Hare Krishna, nice to see you. And let's see. What about Govinda Vallabha or William? Do one of you want to offer some comments? Looks like Govinda Vallabha still here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, William. Nice to see you.
Okay.
And Govinda,
Nice to see you, Balavan, Prabhu. Very nice class, by the way. We were there for the Govardhan online retreat, and that was a beautiful class. Wow.
Yeah, this one too. Thank you.
I was afraid, you know, Leela Purushottam can appreciate. I was really, it was like 400 devotees or something listening. I thought, I'm going to really get in trouble. And I only said the word maidservant. I didn't say anything worse than maidservant. That was the only word that I used. I was very careful.
Wow. Yeah, we caught that.
Well, you guys are okay. Any reflections from this discussion now?
Yeah. Otherwise, myself, Prabhu, I had a question.
Uh-huh.
Second, I was reading in the Bhagavad Gita some days ago, and I just wanted to like ask you a question about it, just because you reminded that to me in the beginning of the class when you were talking about like and hopefully I'm gonna repeat well, like we're not here to give like maybe I'm mixing it up, like to give sukriti to other people, like but really here like you to lead them, like anyway, I was reflecting at that time when you were speaking like about this, and I'm just gonna copy the text in the chat. Okay, I just sent it. So the translation there, it says, "Oh my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandal, duck eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family." So I was wondering about this particular verse, such a penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals, like the must-have there. Is it something that, how can I, like some kind of like literal application of those words, like, oh, like the person is as good as somebody who has done all those things, or it is actually what we were supposed to have done like previously in the previous birth to be in order to in order to like be a part of like be in Krishna consciousness, be a part of like the mission.
And Jiva Goswami in his Laghu Vaishnav Toshini, or excuse me, his Krama Sandarbha commentary in this verse, he says that such a person is a swapacha. They're literally a dog eater, meaning now. The grammar is they're a dog eater even now, but still, even now, they're qualified to perform sacrifice, Vedic sacrifices. They've done all different types of things, meaning in some previous birth they must have done that. We may also, we may look at this verse. I'm not sure exactly why you're quoting it. My initial idea was that you're quoting it because it seems like contradictory to what we were citing earlier, where we were citing this verse which Prabhupada says was the inspiration for his phrase Krishna consciousness, and that janma koti sukriti labhyate, even tens of millions of births of sukriti, you can't get Krishna bhakti ras. Tatraloyam api mulyam ekalam. Ekalam, the only way to get it is through greed. Kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. And if you find it for sale somewhere, you got to run there. You want to get it now. So it doesn't, the two are not necessarily opposed to each other. In Vedic literature, a lot of times we'll find descriptions of jnana or karma or different things, and people are encouraged to do that. In Mahabharata, there's so much descriptions given about the glories of giving charity, giving food, and that's the best thing in the whole world to do. And you read that section, you may think, well, this is even better than chanting the holy name. But it's not. We should understand in context of things, because we always want to encourage different people. I was seeing a lecture Vaisheshguru gave today, and he was saying that Krishna consciousness is all about encouragement. And that's what we're always constantly doing. We're trying to encourage everyone. And so we want to encourage people to practice sukriti, to give some charity. It's not bad to give charity, to be honest. That's a mundane moral character quality, but it's helpful. It's helpful ultimately to attain to bhakti. But janma koti sukriti labhyate. It's not going to be enough. we have to get association with devotees who have greed. And by associating with devotees who have greed, then we can get greed. And therefore, Narottama Dāsa Ṭhākura, he's describing in that verse we were just singing, that manobancha siddhi, when I get perfection in my manobancha, in my desires. And how does that happen? Through a service to Gurudev. Then those desires will come to my heart. Just like if we associate with some devotee who has COVID, then you may also get COVID. That's controversial, I know, but I think it happens. Is that okay, William?
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay, and is Govinda Vallabha being nice to you?
Yes, yes. She's being very nice. Oh, yeah.
Good, good. We feel some happiness when I see you guys. You know, all bundled up. One, it's also a little cold here too. Hare Krishna. Hey, Gorni Taipa, I better move on real quick. I'm not going to have time for everybody. Gorni Taipa, do you want to share some reflection?
Something about this greediness. You mentioned at the beginning and the last session, and I'm full week. I am just focusing on that greediness, and I want to go to this, who is greedy? Who is greedy? And I spoke about this verse, and many devotees knows that verse. Yeah. They don't look like greedy. So I'm afraid that we can lose that greediness also. We have, and then we lose. We have, lose. So can you explain something about that? How not lose that greediness? Already we have some period of time.
I mean,
which is the only prize.
You're describing me because I've done so many offenses, and because I have so many material desires. And when you do offenses, especially to the holy name or to the devotees, then what happens is you lose that greed for spiritual things, and you get a different type of greed. You get a greed for ice cream. You get a greed to have a nice red bicycle, or whatever kind of ridiculous type of greed we have in this material world. We have a greed to become famous, become a big devotee, or this or that. It means we're not being deeply absorbed in our nam bhajan. And therefore Gurudev, when he gives us nam and he accepts us as a servant in the form of initiation, he tells us, hey, sadhu sabadhan, dear sadhu, be careful. Avoid the 10 offenses to the holy name. And if we associate with Gurudev, therefore we have our Guru Gayatri, we have our Gora Gayatri, and we meditate on Gurudev, who inspires us. We meditate on the greed of Gurudev, and how Gurudev, maybe he'd be a very expert person, our Bhakti-rupa Prabhu. He's one of our gurus. And Bhakti-rupa, well, he could have a job in practically any big company in the world, and he could make a few $100,000 a year. He could be a very wealthy person. He has such expertise. But he's just serving Prabhupada. Serving Prabhupada, he has this type of greed. So if we associate it, and if we look at him and see that, then that greed may come to us. And that's why we want to try to come close to Gurudev, not just physically, but we want to see what his mood is and what he likes, and how he likes Krishna kathā, and how he likes kirtan, how he likes to worship Krishna, how he doesn't like politics, and he doesn't like criticism, finding fault with devotees, and all this kind of nonsense. You're very fortunate, Prabhuji. You're there with your Guru Maharaj, and you can see so much of that. So please excuse me, I want to run on, but I'm afraid we're not going to have enough time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gorni Taipa, I really appreciate it. Let's see. Anapayani, you wrote something. Is that sufficient, or do you want to add anything? We're happy to see you. Even though we can't see you, you haven't manifested your video camera. There she is. Hare Krishna. Do you want to add anything, Anapayani?
Sorry, I can't add anything because I joined so late, but I'm just so happy to hear all of the devotees here and your summary. Thank you so much. I wish I can listen to the recording.
Yeah, it's nice when we can all come together. You know, one of the things we were discussing in the Govardhan retreat kathā was a very interesting statement from Srila Prabhupada. Let's see if I can dig it up here. It was a letter Srila Prabhupada wrote to, let's see, Prabhupada wrote to a disciple in 1968 when Prabhupada was in, he'd gone to India, and I'm just trying to find it. Where did it go? No, I don't see it. Anyway, I can find it. I know where it's at. Prabhupada wrote to her, and he said because he was feeling so much separation from Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's response to that. Here, I found it. He said that. Go down. He said, "Our business is to chant and glorify the holy name of Krishna, and wherever we may remain, Krishna is with us. Krishna is within your heart. Krishna is within my heart. So spiritually, there's no question of separation. Even physically, we may be in a far distant place. So sometimes we have this Zoom program and we think, gosh, this is like kind of lame. It's kind of weird, you know. It's really not the same. But let's remember this letter from Srila Prabhupada. And there was no Zoom. There was, the devotees couldn't sit down and talk with Prabhupada face to face, kind of like what we're sort of like doing right now through the computer. But there was just letters. What is the difference? It's the same thing. Only difference is maybe we're a little more fortunate because it's easier to remember the devotees by seeing them in this way. But we associate with each other through our bhajan and through Krishna kathā, and that way we come together. So thank you, Anupani. You staying warm enough? It looks really cold. Govardhan's colder than Vrindavan usually. It's really heavy. Hare Krishna. Okay, and let's see. Lila Purushottam Prabhu, do you want to share something?
Hare Krishna. Well, yeah, I was wondering one thing during your katha, although you didn't use terms, but still, there is there are different features of the Lord's pastimes, like Aishwarya feature, then Krishna Lila is described as the Madhurya Lila, and then Gaura Lila is described as Audarya. And now I'm wondering, where that Audarya feature, Audarya mood, came from in the context with like that Gauranga is Krishna with the mood of Radha, and they are both like fully absorbed in the Madhurya feature of their pastimes. But when this combination comes about, then they create the Audarya feature, and then even more complex it becomes that through that Audarya feature, we're supposed to get again the Madhurya feature, like Unnata Ujvala Rasa Svabhakti Shriyam. So I was thinking, where does this Audarya feature come from, or where? Yeah,
actually that Audarya feature is not with Krishna in one sense. Remember I spoke about this, that Parasya Shakti Vidaya Vishruyate. The Upanishads describe that the Lord has many different potencies. And one of those potencies is his Kripa Shakti, his Audarya Shakti, his mercy potency, which Rupa Goswami describes is Radharani personified. And we've commented on this sometimes. Manavala Mamuni in his commentary on Ramayana, he explains that Sita is also the Karuna Shakti of Lord Ramachandra. And it was for that reason that she wasn't present when Lord Ram killed Ravan. Otherwise, she would have told him, stop, don't do it, because she's so merciful. So generally, Krishna hides that Karuna Shakti, that Audarya Shakti, he hides it, which is Icha Shakti, with his desire potency. Because if everybody in Dwapar Yuga found out about the mercy of Radharani, they'd all be taking trains and buses and whatever to Vrindavan, standing in queue to get the mercy of Radharani, and there wouldn't have been Dwapar Krishna Lila as we know it in Mathura and Dwarka. But in Gaura Lila, when Mahaprabhu, when Krishna comes in the mood of Radha, then suddenly that Audarya Shakti, that Kripa Shakti, becomes Swarat. It becomes independent. Prior to that, it's not independent. It's controlled by the Icha Shakti of Krishna. And when it becomes independent, that's Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and that's why he's Mahabharanyaya. And it has all to do with Radharani, as you're intimating. It's not just mercy, but it's all not Odarja, but it's also Madhurja. Because if it's really Odarja, then it has to be Madhurja. if you really, we don't want to just say, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the most merciful person because he takes away all your sins. No, it doesn't work like that. That's not why he's the most, because he gives anarpita chidim chidat karuna. In that verse, he gives the topmost thing. Is that okay?
It's perfect. I mean, the last part is that's what I needed to hear. That the Audarya is the Madhurya simultaneously, and just connected to it. Is it? Can one look on it that even in Krishna Lila, the Krishna's Icha Shakti can, to the big degree, cover the Radharani's Audarya or the magnanimity, or like because it feels different in Gaura Lila and in Krishna, even in connection with Radharani's position in that Lila.
Well, we know.
Maybe we are making.
Yeah, we know about the sweetness of Radharani, but we only know about it because of Gaura Lila.
Yeah.
If Gauranga Mahaprabhu hadn't have come, we wouldn't have had Govinda Lilamrita and all these different books, Krishna Bhavanamrita, and we wouldn't hear about Radharani if it wasn't for Gauranga Mahaprabhu coming and revealing that. And yes, Radharani was so merciful, but nobody knew anything about it.
Yeah, that was my suspicion.
Okay, thank you. Would you please forgive me? We're going to run on with Jai Gaur and Vana Biharani if she is also there. Is Vana there?
She's here.
Okay, nice to see you guys. There is Vana Biharani. Hare Krishna, nice to see you.
I don't have much to share today.
That's okay. We're just sharing your smile. That's enough. It makes us very happy to see you, Vana Biharani. And we're looking forward to seeing you here in India soon, too. Look at Anupayani is also smiling very big, isn't it? Vana Biharani's smile is worth it, isn't it, Anupayani? Just to see that. Jaguar, we don't know about you, but your wife, she's good.
I don't know about me.
You have any reflections, Jaguar? We'll finish.
Yeah, I like how you said if we try to approach Mahaprabhu without the devotees, we're an illusion. I marked a couple of things, and you always speak about this, and you mentioned that you always speak about this, but we get Mahaprabhu's mercy relationship with Guru and opportunity for service, and I'm kind of thinking that sometimes devotees might think, oh, I'm very unfortunate because I'm not afforded this opportunity to get Krishna Prema, or Krishna's not coming to me in my life. I miss the opportunity. And it was reminding me of a couple of months ago, Bhakti Rasai and Sagar Maharaj came through town and he gave a Sunday feast class. And he said something that I liked. He said that if you fail to see Krishna's hand in your life, then you'll see his foot.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, so
I was thinking about that.
We're lamenting sometimes I didn't get any mercy, I didn't get this, that. But are we taking what's given to us? It's like a child sitting in front of a big plate of feast prasadam, and the child's crying, I'm hungry, I want something to eat. Well, sit down and eat. The plate's right in front of you. So are we really taking, the service to Gurudev seriously? Are we really taking our non-bhajan seriously? And if we're not eating what's in front of us on the plate, then how are we getting anything? I didn't ask you for any reflection today, did I? I don't think I did.
No.
Okay, we'll finish up with Reed. Thank you, Prabhuji. And I really got to run. We have a meeting.
I also had similar points to Jai Gaur. I appreciated the quote that you shared, that if we try to worship Mahaprabhu without the devotees, we're an illusion. And also, our bhajan is for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu through our Guru. I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, there's antarmukh janas and bahirmukh janas. We want to be antarmukh. We want to be internal persons, not external. External persons, they're either enamored with the institution, as an example. There's other examples we could give too. But they're thinking the institution's everything and we got to go to the temple, we got to follow the rules and all that. They're either completely absorbed in the institution in that way, or the flip coin, they're completely absorbed against it. And they're thinking, all those guys are such nonsense and this and that. Just chill out. The whole purpose of Prabhupada came was not to establish an institution, is to give us nam bhajan. And again, as we've said so many times, the institution's a box to keep the gift in. So that's good. Okay, I got to let you guys go. We got a pack tomorrow too. We're going to Bhubaneswar for a few days. Krishna Kun, you have something? Okay. See, Krishna Kun says she likes it. Krishna conscious means the cultivation of desire. All right, thank you all so much. It's really wonderful to see everybody, and we'll be back again next week. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhishcha, Kripa Sindhu Bheva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo,